Hello, hello. I'm Casey,
And I'm Fallon.
and this is
Render the Darkness.
Okay, so today's episode is coming at you from Indiana. This is still part of our 50 States series, and we're going to be traveling to Mitchell, Indiana today, because we're going to be covering the Whispers Estate.
Okay.
And that is not a typo. It is the Whispers Estate.
Whispers Estate.
That's correct.
Okay.
But before we dive into that, let's go ahead and knock out our fun fact, because they're fun. Fun fact. The first rubber balloon was invented in 1824 during an experiment with different types of gases by Michael Faraday. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that name sounds very familiar.
That's what I said. After I typed it out, I was like, Michael Faraday. Why have I heard that name? I know it from somewhere.
Yeah,
It's going to bother me, so I'm going to Google it later.
Google it later.
But for now, let's jump right into this case, and here we go. Obviously, we're going to be traveling to Mitchell, Indiana, because that is where this case is located. First, we're going to go over the history of the house, so let's get into that real quick. The house was originally built in 1894 by by Dr. George and his wife, Sarah White. They would only live there for about 5 years before selling it in 1899 to Dr. John Gibbons and his wife, Jessie.
Gibbons.
I know it's fun to say. It kind of rolls off the tongue, right?
Gibbons.
Gibbons.
Not a type of.
I was going to say, is that a bird?
But I was going to say, I think that's a type of monkey, isn't it?
Oh, maybe it's a
Gibbon?
monkey. Maybe it's a monkey. I think they have them at the zoo. Aren't they the little ones? The little tiny ones?
Maybe. I don't know. I heard it like recently something about. Oh yeah, the Big Bang Theory talking about growing pancreas in an adolescent gibbon.
Oh, you know, that is one show I've never watched.
You should watch it.
I've never watched that show.
Sorry.
I heard it's really good though,
It is.
and I've seen like little clips on TikTok and stuff. And Sheldon seems fun. So the intention of the couple was the same as most people. They wanted to raise their family there. They very much wanted kids, but unfortunately, they weren't able to have kids of their own.
Oh.
So this led them to the road of adoption.
Hey.
Yeah. They would adopt 3 children that I know of, but tragically, things would quickly go horribly wrong for this family. On the morning of December 25th, 1921, their daughter Rachel, who was only 10 years old at the time, she wanted to get an early peek at what was in her Christmas presents, which is a very normal thing for a kid to do. I remember doing that as a kid myself.
Yep.
However, the presents were next to the fireplace. Tragically, in her excitement upon seeing the presents, her clothes would get too close to the fire and she was terribly burned as a result.
Oh, poor baby.
It's very sad. And just 2 days later, Rachel would succumb to her injuries and she would pass away.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's sad.
It makes my heart hurt.
I know. Just being a kid, innocent, doing what kids do. So after that, tragedy would strike the family again. The couple's 10-month-old daughter, Elizabeth, would pass away suddenly in her sleep. And this happened in what was said to have been the master bedroom of the upstairs of the house. Around 2 weeks later, Jessie would also pass away, also in the upstairs of the bedroom, and the cause of her death was listed as double pneumonia.
Dang.
But some speculate, and I can only imagine that this has to be at least a little bit true, but some would speculate that depression played an advanced role in her passing. I mean, I know double pneumonia is pretty hardcore on its own, but if you also don't have the will to try to pull yourself out of it, like I could see it playing at least a small. I can't imagine. Depression.
Not Jessie.
Yeah, the mom.
Okay,
Jessie.
that kind of threw me off for a second. I was like, wait a minute. I was like,
I could see the confusion on your face, so I was trying to explain to you what I was saying. Yes, Jessie,
okay,
the mother.
Jessie. That,
the
like
mother.
I said, for some reason I didn't register because I was thinking it was another kid. And when you
No,
were talking
Jessie.
about, I was like,
No, Jessie is the wife. Jessie
yeah,
is
the mom.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But the couple did have another daughter, and her name was Helen, and she would go on to live a long life. She passed
Good.
away on November 6th, 1994.
Ooh.
As for Dr. John Gibbons, there are very conflicting reports about him and his character. He was a very well established doctor in Mitchell, Indiana, even at the time that he and Jesse had purchased the home. And once the home was purchased, Dr. Gibbons decided that he would begin practicing his medicine on the first floor of the house. So he would kind of transition the whole first floor to be his medical practice. He would run ads for it. He would like make sure people knew. And he was pretty prominent at the time. Like a lot of people went to see him. But I will say that a lot of the people who came to the first floor to seek medical help, they didn't always leave the same way they came in.
That's not good.
It's not. So, like, keep in mind the time frame, though. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, there weren't a tremendous amount of advancements in the medical field, so it was sadly pretty common for people to pass away. And sometimes it was, through negligence, but sometimes it was through, them just not knowing any better, or there genuinely not being a known cure at the time, or them genuinely not knowing what was even happening to the person to be able to help them. Yeah. So, a lot of different factors played into why so many people passed away during this time period, which is why I'm very thankful for the amount of advancements that we have had in medicine. But let's look at just the Gibbons family alone when it came to how common it was for people to pass away. You've got Rachel, who passed away from severe burns. You have Elizabeth, who passed away in the master bedroom from unknown causes, but it's kind of now assumed that she probably passed away from crib death.
Yeah.
And then you got, of course, Jesse Gibbons, who would pass away from double pneumonia, also in the master bedroom. And those tragedies all happened while living with and under the care of a doctor. So, like, that's just how common it was for people to pass away from medical issues at the time. Dr. Gibbons ran his practice there for 26 years. Some sources said 27, so I'll put it in there just in case. And one of the most famous rooms of the house was, and still remains to this day, Dr. Gibbons' operating room. There was thought to be anywhere from a few dozen to possibly a couple hundred people who perished in that room. Ultimately, Dr. Gibbons would retire, although I'm not sure how voluntary that was. It is noted that the doctor, he did become subject to an insanity inquest, and that happened more than once. And I also read that Helen was one of the ones who tried to have him committed, as well as his brother George, who also was a doctor. But in the end, he was declared sane. However, it would also be reported that despite the fact that he was declared sane, he would be forced into an early retirement as a result of some of his more publicly bizarre displays of behavior, such as running out into the streets, waving a gun, threatening to shoot people, things of that nature. But again, the man went through a lot really fast. Like, he lost all of his family except for one daughter.
Right.
In a very short amount of time. And I'm not justifying any of that behavior at all, but, the man was going through it.
Yeah.
I also read that some of the operations he would perform were quite a bit more grisly than what they should have been, i.e. he would do things he wasn't necessarily qualified or supposed to do. For example, abortions, amputations, things that he wasn't really supposed to do by himself. There's also a myth that there's several graves in the backyard, which, if that's true, it's hella creepy because A, he was a doctor, and B, they were known to adopt orphans. Who those graves supposedly belonged to, I couldn't find any information on that, but one of those graves was thought to actually be more of like a pit where he would put the remains of patients and parts he would amputate, and the aborted fetuses and things like that would get thrown into this pit. Is what some people say and speculate. So, I don't know that for sure. I'm just going off the information that I found during my research.
That's awesome.
Dr. Gibbons would also pass away in the house, only instead of dying upstairs in the second floor master bedroom, or upstairs at all, like Rachel, Elizabeth, and Jesse, he would actually pass away in the master bedroom of the first floor. And he died in 1944, just 11 years after Jesse. The house was then naturally left to their only living child, which was Helen, and Helen was very quick to sell it. The house harbored many tragedies in her life, and she really didn't want anything to do with the house at all.
I completely understand that.
Understandable. Unfortunately, so the story goes, tragedy in the house didn't stop with the Gibbons family. Sometime in the 1950s, some sources say 60s, so I put it in there, but a man passed away in the upstairs bathroom. And then next, a little boy was said to have passed away from falling down the stairs.
Oh.
I also read that after the little boy passed, and I think I read the little boy's name was Gary, so I'm going to call him Gary. But afterwards, while moving their things out of the house, the boy's father would die after having a heart attack during a trip back to the house to get some more personal items.
Oh, wow.
And now that we have a pretty good history of the house, let's get into the spirits that are said to be here or there, as well as the terrifying experiences people have had in the home, and I will tell you why it is called the Whispers Estate. And the reason is super creepy.
Okay.
The amount of activity reported to occur in the house is off the charts, and seemingly whatever or whoever haunts it has little to no preference on who knows it's there. Reports of paranormal activity has been reported by guests, tenants, employees, volunteers, tour guides, and owners. In fact, one person purchased the house with the intentions of living in it, but quickly decided not to live in it due to the paranormal experiences he immediately had. Another owner wanted to convert the house into a bed and breakfast in 2006, and this is also the time where the house gets its name. The people who were hired to renovate the house reportedly stopped working on the house because they were continuously hearing whispering coming from the walls and experiencing other paranormal activities inside the house.
That's creepy.
Some of those activities they experienced, as well as many others, have reported activity such as knocking, footsteps, people getting scratched, doors slamming, beds shaking, things flying across the room, doorknobs shaking, violent coughing, hearing someone skipping across the room, children laughing and playing, the chandelier shaking wildly, people's names being called, footsteps running and stopping, explosions in the house, phantom explosions, sounds of medical instruments rattling, shadows, lights turning on and off, random wind gusts throughout the house, heavy feelings or the feeling of being weighted down like someone is sitting on somebody's chest, causing them to feel as though they can't breathe, nightmares, blankets being pulled off, and I think one of the most captured and seen spirits in the house is that of Rachel. Lots of people have heard a little girl. In fact, she's actually been captured on video and in recordings. The house eventually became a place where investigators and other paranormal researchers could rent it out and be free to investigate. The house has been featured in several shows. I'll attach a few links in the show notes to some of the shows that it's been in. One is called Most Terrifying Places in America, and the Whispers Estate is covered and featured in episode 5. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. I watched it on HBO Max, and I will put a link for it in the show notes.
I've seen that show.
I had never seen it, never even heard of it until I started looking at this case. So it was an interesting show, actually. So there's also been reports in the master bedroom upstairs of the smell of baby powder overwhelming the room. Others have reported hearing a baby cry. There's also been reports of the closet in the master bedroom being haunted. They've reported the doorknob jiggling vigorously, and then the door just kind of pops open. And a lot of people believe the culprit in the closet is Gary. I don't know why he would be in the closet, but a lot of people think it's him, based on him being able to hear a boy child voice. And Gary has also been captured by investigators as well as psychics, and they've reported seeing him running up and down the stairs as well. However, not all the spirits in the house are that of children. There are also reports of something referred to as the Big Black. It's mostly been reported being seen in Dr. Gibbons' room, and according to psychics, it's not just an average spirit. In fact, they don't seem to think that it's even from this earth. Like, they think it's from a different realm altogether.
Is it like a demon?
I don't think it's a demon, though, because it was very clear that it's not violent in any way. It's not angry. It's not aggressive. It is terrifying because it moves about the house. So you can see the outline shape of the mass and you can see it moving, but it doesn't seem to have any ill intent. It just kind of exists there. Then there's the heavy footsteps that some people have reported. And unlike the lighter footsteps that people have reported, these heavy footsteps, if you hear them, you may want to leave the house as fast as you can, because usually when you hear these heavy footsteps, it's very quickly followed by growling, scratching, biting, and pushing.
Is it a hellhound?
I don't know. That one may be a demon.
Demon dog.
That one may be a demon. Or demon dog. It could very much be a demon dog. It's also believed that Dr. Gibbons himself still lurks around the house, as well as the man who died upstairs in the 50s or 60s, whichever one of those is correct. And there are certain smells people report, like cigars, cologne, aftershave, rotting meat. A lot of people reported smelling cabbage. I don't know what the cabbage is about, but there's also been reports of people seeing like bloody bandages. There's also certain beds that people can't sleep in because if they try to, it will be shaken violently until they're no longer in the bed.
Okay.
And there's a story about some guests who wanted to connect with Rachel, so they brought her a doll and left it on her bed.
Oh, sweet.
It is sweet. So the story goes that shortly after they did this, the doll was gone. And shortly after the doll was gone, it was discovered at the bottom of the stairs and it had been slightly burned and reeked of smoke. And finally, the last thing to talk about is that some believe a portal can be found inside the house. The portal is reported to be located from the front parlor to the attic. The attic is said to be the darkest part of the house, kind of like the heart of the house, if you will, and not many people are brave enough to stay the night down there. But for those that have, they've had terrible, terrible nightmares. And they've also claimed that things have tried to enter the room with them. Which I think maybe where the black mass comes from, like goes in and out of, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I believe it's possible. There's a portal in there.
Yeah.
But as of today, the house can be rented. You can go to their website to book a stay, or you can call, and I'll post their website in the show notes. And other than that, that's my case on the Whisper Estates.
Well, that's pretty cool. I think we need to. I wonder how far it is from us.
Oh, it's not. Indiana's not that far.
That would probably be a great place to stay to get some footage.
Apparently, pretty much everybody that goes there gets some kind of something.
Yeah.
Like there was just, I wouldn't have had enough time to write all of the experiences people have reported having, the videos and the pictures of scratches and the pictures of things caught in the house, and like it's just so much. So, but yeah. So book a stay if you dare and take the ghost tour. And if you do, please tell us about it. And if you've already gone there, again, please tell us about that. Or if you have any pictures or videos to share, we'd love to see them.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and maybe one day we'll go and we'll try to do a live. Try to do a live while we're there. See how that goes. Apparently, the spirits don't really like to be recorded. They tend to intervene on that process.
I guess if we can't do it live, we can always try to just record it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we could. We could. You caught what you caught on just a recording, so maybe that's the way to go.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's my case on the Whisper Estates, and that's very creepy. And thank you, Mitchell, Indiana, for having such a creepy place for me to do a case on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I want to go there.
I'm sure you do.
It would be so cool because you could go in the attic.
That would negative Ghost Rider. That would not happen. Nope. I don't care how daylight it is. I don't care if there's a portal in there. I ain't going. I'm gonna slip into some other realm and never be able to find my way back. And it's gonna be like a whole thing. And I know my luck. And one thing, if I knew I was gonna slip in there and have a better life, but I know that's not what's gonna happen. I'm gonna slip in there. And it's gonna be so much worse.
I'll put a rope around you.
What's that gonna do?
Be able to yank you back out.
I'm not sure that's how that works.
Sure it is.
That's like a movie thing. I don't think that's a real thing.
Sure it is.
We're not gonna test it. We're not gonna test it. How about you go in the attic and I'll tie a rope to you.
I won't need a rope.
I bet you won't. You're just gonna jump right in and hope for that tea party you've been wishing for. It's Fallon's dream to have a tea party with ghosts. Anyway, that's our case for today, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, a share, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a comment, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're a creator, you need some support, let us know. We'll be happy to help. And yeah, hopefully we see you guys next time. That's it for now. Bye.